Do what it is. It's your boy, Mr. Bell, aka Captain Hater, aka I can't say your name up on my podcast. Might not fuck with you tomorrow. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Hold Up and another thing presented by Mixed Vibes Media. As you know, I am the host of this here thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't did one of these since October. I need to do better. That's neither here nor there. But year in wrap up. We gotta talk about the big stories from this past year that you know affect the culture and the things that people are talking about. And I brought some guests with me. First off, Will, what up, bro?
What's going on, man? Nice to be back.
Appreciate you for coming back. Then these two people did it last year. We tried to get Javon, but he ain't answer the phone. But first, Asher B, what's going on?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
We gonna talk about how we beefing. You're gonna see we on wax now. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, we gonna talk about it now.
It's all love. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's all love right now.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Just want to make sure you know I did text twice this year to say I love you. But anyways,
one of them being tonight, y'all. One of them being. He wants something, y'all. It's messed up.
The calendar ain't switched over, so technically it's still this year. You know what I mean? It's what it is. All right, and then this returning guest, the doctor. I always gotta say the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Gotta say the doctor. What's up, Dr. Douglas?
Man, what's going on, man? It's always a blessing to be in the company of beautiful people for a beautiful conversation. Thank you for the invite, my brother. Thank you so much for the invite.
I appreciate all y'all for taking y'all time to do this, and we're gonna get right into it. I put this one first for a reason, because I think some people forget that this is actually still going on. We'll talk about the war in Ukraine. It started February 24th. This small country of Ukraine with limited resources. We'll get to them getting help later on down the line in this conversation. But this small country with limited resources is still fighting against Russia, and it has not allowed Russia to take over their capital of Kyiv. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all. We're gonna start with Ash. What was your thoughts on the war in Ukraine? Just when they first invaded. Come on, Ashley. Right. You got look. If you go do the mute thing, you gonna have to
put some stuff. My bad. I mean, it was bound to happen. I hate to say that, but it was bound to happen. You know, when you're paying attention to world news, you knew that it was all gonna come to a head. Honestly, I think it's just gonna continue, and it is still going on. I think it's going to continue, and I think that we got to really just pay attention to what's going to come up next with some of these other countries, because there's now other countries also involved, of course, from afar, but they're still involved, including the U.S. I mean, really, when you think about it. So it wasn't a surprise. That's my reaction. It wasn't a surprise.
All right. Will? What you think?
Yeah, so like she said, I've been watching the world news and just trying to watching it develop, and it no surprise, but nonetheless, it was disgusting. You know, they just it shouldn't be happening. You see hospitals and stuff getting bombed. They using drones. You know, it's getting pretty ugly, and it's gotten worse. It seems like in the last week they've kind of ramped up a little bit as the year ends. So I hope it stops. I kind of find it funny though, right? So like. I was explaining to my Michelle, I said, it's like Ukraine's the little brother fighting the big brother, right? But the cousins keep bringing over straps and helping them figure out how to.
They keep funding the war. The cousins are funding the war.
Yeah, the cousins is pushing it out, and it's like, man, Russia gonna get mad eventually, and everybody gonna have to, kind of react to that. So I'm just kind of watching it play out. I hope it don't get no worse.
All right. So that do lead me to my next question. I throw it to you, Dr. Douglas. Are you surprised, or will you be surprised if this turns into a world war? Because of the cousins helping out. And then there's also a cousin that's helping Russia too, that a lot of people don't talk about.
I'm thinking that the reason why that the national world exposure of it, at least the way that it comes off our media, is not as grandiose as because they're trying to stop that. Like they're trying to brunt that from happening. But of course, when you always have individuals that run countries that are in power, those individuals usually are power hungry and they seek power just to have it and don't really care about how they wield it. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if that is what comes on the back end of it. You know, of course, it's definitely not needed because whatever the actual strife is, even with Russia even going over, they just want the land. They want the land and the resources. They can let them people be. They have no need to be there. You know what I'm
But ain't
saying?
they
But I would not be
destroying the land and the resources by bombing everything? Is Russia not taking that into account?
But just like the actual places that they bombing though, they're not bombing the oil fields and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Certain things they might cut off a pipeline or something, but they bombing like the urban centers and stuff though. You know what I'm saying? They bombing where they know the people's at to scare them to death, so they ain't just give up.
Are y'all surprised that the president? I want to make sure I get his name right. Zelensky, a former actor, a comedian actor at that. Now the president of this country is able to handle this situation the way he is.
Popular media in general has fucked the world up. Individuals, the first individual that was an actor, to my knowledge, that got elected was Ronald Reagan. But individuals, when they see people on the TV, they don't separate that as it's entertainment. And they take characters that they see and take what they presenting as a character as who they really are. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't surprise me either. People have to think through more shit than just what's presented in front of you. Nothing that's ever presented in front of you has ever benefited you. Ever.
So he's just to me, he's handled it as good as he can, right? Like, I mean, you know, he doesn't come off the cuff and he ain't like on no Donald Trump type shit. You feel me? He has a little reservation when he speaks. You know, he seems to speak correctly. So, I mean, I give him, he's doing a decent job. Plus, you know, now you got so many people in your corner, man. Those title roles ain't nothing but just a role, you know. You're supported by so many people, even if you don't know what you're doing. That's why, pretty much to me, you can take almost like anybody and put them into presidential role. I mean, I ain't saying no idiots or nothing, but you take somebody with a brain, you know.
Now the other movie, the other movie that y'all guys see me talking about just before you started recording it, but if y'all have never seen The Manchurian Candidate, y'all need to check it out though.
Oh, I have seen that movie now. I got you on that.
Have you seen the original one or you seen the second remake?
I've seen both of them. Second remake, but
yeah, go watch the older one. And the older one, they are doing a lot of the expose on how they actually are pulling certain political figures in there. Like we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we have that other crazy fucking current lady that's elected. She's
I want to talk
Karen
about.
Bogan was a fucking prostitute 3 years ago.
Yeah. What about George Santos?
Like, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense.
What about George Santos?
Oh, that motherfucker there. That motherfucker there. He did a hell of a job, though, man.
He pulled a resume scam of all time.
He did, dog. He pulled on every category of white guilt that is felt, and he fit his box on that shit and got elected on that, bro. Yeah. Every category. He checked the motherfucking boxes. Dude, let me check that one. Let me check that one. I am this person that fits all in boxes.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of crazy just watching them play it out. You know, like, dang, that's crazy. Dude,
but did you see the response video that he gave though? In the response video, when they was questioning him about why he lied, he said that he hung around a lot of Jewish people. So his own self, he claimed himself to be of Jewish nature because he hung around Jews.
What he said.
My dude said, I'm Jewish.
He said, I'm Jewish is what he said. That's what he said.
The audacity.
Crazy.
It's nuts. And then this is on the back of Kanye, Ye, or whatever you want to say him, and Kyrie
I
getting
was gonna say,
motherfuckers
ain't
burnt
Kyrie?
for small statements
Yeah.
about that.
We definitely gonna get to them. The fact
Yeah.
that, all right. So do y'all think, just real sidebar, do y'all think they should kick him out of office?
Most definitely.
The thing with that is like, of course, the people are supposed to have the power. So me, if I elected him and I felt as if he was a true candidate, the best candidate for me, and then I found out that everything he said was a lie, I'm going to have to unite the people. Like, this motherfucker got to go.
How can you believe anything he said?
How?
So I feel like that's a trick question, Q.
Okay, why?
Because most politicians lie.
That's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
giving. You know what I'm saying, I'm not. Listen, I'm not taking his side by no means. Let me be clear. Let me specify this on this pod.
You gotta specify because you know how people are.
I'm not defending him. Period. But I felt like the question was a trick question because all the politicians lie. So where do we draw the line with the lies? And after we done elected Trump, that's been lying since day one. I don't even know anymore. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean,
Here's my question though. He lied about everything. Like,
He's a blockbuster though. Like my dude ain't go. You got 2 degrees now. You got no degrees. I mean,
Nothing yet. Nothing
like,
he said was true.
So
like you just like
nothing about this man is right. So is his name even right? Like I just want to make sure.
I don't know.
think
Well,
it is.
I'm pretty sure if he lied about his name, they would have found that out. I think his name is probably the only thing that's the truth.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
we hope.
Hey,
We hope. We
But I don't know though. I mean, I know this was the year before, but I mean, Trump didn't. I mean, he had these folks out here brainwashed.
They still lie. That's why they elected the boy, George Santos.
So I don't know, Q. I mean,
now,
he should not be in office. I give you that. But I almost make the argument, man. I don't know. We don't know. We don't trust these folks. Like, I know throughout the conversation, Q. I know you want to keep moving on. Let me just say this. I know you're trying to switch to the next topic.
you good.
And I keep dropping like movie titles and stuff, but another one is why individuals keep getting elected, which is the great white hype. If they see an individual that's presented in front of them, they can potentially be the savior. They go towards that without fully understanding it, because they've been presented as such that this man or this man could be that.
so
that's why they all flock to Trump.
Dr. Douglas, you're implying, in a sense, to some level, a level of groupthink where we, you know what I'm saying, we gravitate to what's in front of us, and all of a sudden, all these people start to think the same. Really, they're consumed with something, whether they know the facts about it or not.
Yes, what I am saying is that every individual, regardless of their religious background, regardless of their educational background, if that individual inside of themselves feels the need to be a part of a group, then they will seek out individuals in their mind that they assume to be the leader of said group that they want to join.
Understood.
You know
I feel you.
So if you see a good captain that you think is a good captain, you're gonna jump on the ship.
All right, I was ready to get some pushback because they flock to Trump, and I know damn well that ain't no good captain. So
They thought that though, bro. That's what they thought. That's what they thought, man. When you listen, if you listen to the people that be at the rallies and shit, when they speak, one of the first things that they say is he's a good businessman. He can run the country. This motherfucker done failed, you feel me, for all types of shit several times. He don't pay nobody that's owed a debt that does anything for him. He does
pay less taxes
business.
than you. Pay less taxes than you.
Yeah, he does shiesty business, man.
I know this man makes all that money and pay less taxes than you.
Right?
Yes.
They should have been used to being raised by that.
They finally
got to make everybody mad. They all off.
They've been trying to fight for him to get his taxes out for the longest time.
I think they get him. They finally got him.
I'm going to say they finally got him, and like Will said, he paid less taxes than us.
But the craziest part about that is though, when he was running for president, is he was on his campaign doing his tours and stuff. He told them, he said, "Yes, I pay no taxes. It's because I'm smarter." Motherfucker,
Yeah.
what?
That is what he said, though. That's true.
And that's why
That's what he
people
said.
got behind him. See, like, I think humans naturally group think. You feel me? Like, it's like almost like it's how we're wired. You feel me? Like, because people feel safer with groups, right? Like, if we all think this way, then it must be right. So when people start preaching out that he's a good businessman, and I could just see people of certain colors getting behind that because they believe that, But like a lot of my people, I'm so freaking frustrated when I watch the rallies and he has the star black folks in the back of the standing behind him. If you notice, every rally there's always a group of blacks for Trump, and they're always
It got on the
center.
shirt, all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, those are aliens. Those are real black people.
Well, but this raises the question for why you should be able to think for yourself, and that you shouldn't just jump on a bandwagon with something without knowing some facts. Like, that's just my.
But the thing with that though, Ashley, though, like
we all know people that can't think for themselves. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
yes,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
Go ahead,
And
Doc,
then-
go ahead, Doc.
But the thing is though, there is a lot of comfortability festering in your own ignorance. So when you understand something new that could potentially be life changing, it's scary. Because then everything that you thought was true before changes. You know what I'm saying? So people just be comfortable resting in their own ignorance because it's easier to operate that way. You already got a lot of stuff that you're dealing with. Who wants to deal with that stuff internally?
It's easy to have somebody else think for you.
Until you run yourself off the cliff. Like, even
Exactly.
joking. And
Everybody knows that the motherfucking lemons and shit. Everybody said that shit as a kid. Just following these shit off the cliff. And that motherfuckers are just doing it. Because it's easier. It's more comfortable to follow the group.
that man went. Sorry, this is the other year, but that man went to jail and thought he was gonna get vegan food. I was like, what the world? Like, what is with that? He said he don't eat that. He wanted vegan food, y'all. He was serious. He was for real. He was like, I can't eat the prison food. I'm a vegan. I was like,
and that it kind of fucked me up too, you know what I'm saying? But even with that though, like, it's been a whole big outcry with the individuals that have been locked up from the January 6th insurrection. And they are talking about how injustice the justice system is. And motherfuckers are talking about it's two-sided. Motherfucker, it's been like that. Black people have been screaming out about that shit. Y'all just thought it was a lie. Y'all thought we deserved that shit. But now that y'all in there, it's a different story.
They got a new one or something because it's just the same old we've been talking about.
Man, the same shit. The same shit.
Well,
Inhumane treatment.
they ain't had to deal with it, so they ain't believe it. It don't affect them because they ain't the ones that get locked up like that. So,
but
they didn't know
that's another reason too, though, that they mimic the culture that we actually provide for the world. Because how can you deal with so much, but you still find joy, you still find enjoyment? You dealing with all of this oppression, all of this shit on top of your head, but you still find a way to make it through. This beautiful shit that you create when you do that. That's why they always take everything that we make.
It's a whole nother conversation that we can get into.
It is. It definitely is. We can have that one too, though. I got receipts on that too if you want to go there.
I know you do. But again, I won't get back to, we said this pre-pod. Dr. Douglas, why you got so many damn shows? How you got time to watch all of these things? But
I'm telling you, because like as I do what I do, you know what I'm saying? I make all of my conversations in that moment, I make them as meaningful as I can. So when that individual that I have to leave from, they don't feel any angst when I have to depart from them because I've said everything I needed to say. They've said everything they needed to say. So when I'm away, they are okay. So in my transition to my next place of work, I'll be chilling in my car, watching shows and shit, man. That's how. Yeah, put the pre-work in though, man. Gas to.
this brother here. But real quick, I want to say one more thing. I will say one more thing real quick about Ukraine. America sent them $45 billion in aid, between buying stuff and all of that. I just want one of y'all to explain to me how I still got potholes out here on DC Highway, but yet we can send $45 billion to Ukraine. Now, you know what I'm saying? Let's start with the simple stuff. We ain't gonna talk about how, food prices and all that's outrageous, gas prices. We ain't gonna talk about, fixing America. Let's just talk about the potholes. How can we afford to send them $45 billion, but we can't fix? We still got people starving, and we got Brett Favre still the money. I just want to throw that
I don't want to be the only one controlling the conversation. I don't, but I have an answer for you on that. There's one of our other lovely people on here have a response to that question that they would like to state first. I don't want to hold it.
No, you take the mic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, GDP, what's it like? Gross domestic product or whatever the fuck it is, some shit like that. So every country has to designate their actual wealth based upon what their GDP amount is. So the only way you can increase your GDP is if you have trade with other countries. If you have certain access or if you have certain debt bounded to you from another country, that raises your GDP up. So when they give aid to another country, they giving the money, but they are actually holding it because that's a debt that's indebted to that country. So they're not really losing it because they are already basing that they're going to get that money back. So they don't really look at that as a debt. Now, for us as individuals, we are not that important to them. We don't provide enough income to increase the wealth of our country. So our concerns are minuscule. They mean nothing to them.
All right, so here's my next question. You said it's a debt. So do we really think we're going to get $45 billion back from Ukraine?
That doesn't matter to them. It doesn't. Because what is the money backed on? The money is only backed on what they say it's worth. That's it, cuz. It's not backed on anything natural, which is why they killed Gaddafi. Because Gaddafi was trying to create a whole African economic system that was actually based on natural resources. So you actually have things that this money is actually saying is holding to. The money that we have, that we use, is all based upon debt. What's indebted and owed to us, to the country rather, because we don't have no control of it. So it's what's owed to a country. Our economic system is a flim-flam scheme. It doesn't operate on shit.
All right. I do. We're going to have a conversation about Gaddafi off pod because I really feel like we have a conversation off pod. I really feel like it's some conspiracy things that happen with that situation because they, meaning the whites, knew bruh had a plan and the plan was going to take off. But we'll leave that at that.
Yes.
We'll leave that at that. All right, another thing that happened this year. I don't know how we got on Trump. Trump took over since Trump became president. He just took over every single year. But Roe versus Wade, 6-3 decision that was overturned by the Supreme Court. What's your thoughts?
Trump Supreme Court.
Say it again for the people in the back that didn't hear that.
Right. Right.
Trump Supreme Court. This ain't the Supreme Court. This is a joke.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is.
I remember he had that he had some nominations. Right? Yeah.
You see how
But
the
craziest part about this shit though is right before Obama got out of office, he was trying to appoint a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah,
and all of the Republicans blocked that shit. They was like, it's too close to the end of your term. The electors of you they voted for somebody else. You don't have the right to do that. That shit was nuts.
Exactly what they did.
That is
Trump pushed this shit straight through.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, what you think about Roe versus Wade and the overturning?
I think it just shows where the individuals that actually have the power in our country where they wanted to go to. They are still reminiscing about the exploitation that they was able to get away with in the fucking 60s and the 70s and the 50s and shit, you feel me, in their closest memory. And they want to get it as close back to that as possible because they don't like to have to be able to deal with and to listen to everybody else. So to reenact that is a way to control the female body, of course, but it's also a way for them to control drastically their counterpart, which is the white female. And it's sickening that any individual would like to think that you have the power to, but they choose to do with their body. Sickening.
That is, it's sad.
It really is.
I'm for women being able to do as they please if they need to do what they feel necessary. That's none of my business. You don't tell me what to do with my body, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with yours. I feel like it's it's really sad. I feel like, and then you see some of the rules they come up with, and you can't even get it because of even incest. Like it's like, like, are you serious? Like, are you for real? Like they want to ban it like completely, like, and that's just, to me, that just shows that you really don't care about the people you're supposed to represent.
You don't, man. And to what you said, Will, like as soon as they had enacted it, it was a young girl, I think she was like 14 from Ohio or whatever, that had got raped and got impregnated. And the individual governor of that state tried to act as if they were lying about her experience and what she had to do, and with her having to travel 2 states over or a state over to get an abortion. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad.
It really is, man.
Beyond crazy.
But it shows like the lack of humanity that these individuals have for anybody that they do not contact. I don't have close contact with. And it's crazy to me. How can you consider yourself to be a human if you are not concerned with the well-beings of anybody else that exists in front of you or around you? Right. You don't care at all about these people? I don't, bro. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But these are the people that get elected, though.
Well, I mean, that's the system. Real quick, before I want Ashley, you guys, this is a topic that's suited for you. But I mean, let's be real. How, as men, should we decide what a woman can do with her body? And just want to take his Drake line, which I can't believe I'm quoting Drake here. Man who couldn't, I'm just change the words a little bit. Man who couldn't get none in school, making decisions about what women can do.
I mean, I like Drake. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting that you are quoting Drake. I'm gonna say this. I think that I do think that a woman has a right to choose. I don't necessarily agree that you should just be I don't think that it should be used as a form of birth control. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that of it. But I understand I want my own independent rights. And it's like, so in one hand, we want to give rights to this person, that person, that person. But in other hands, we don't want to give rights to certain people. So I think that part of it for me is like, we don't know we can't make up our mind because we just, to what they were saying, you just want to control something. You just want to show that you have some power and some authority. So when it comes down to it, I think that there are other pressing issues that are far more important right now. Not to say that this is not important, but I think that there were far more other issues that we needed to be discussing. And I think that it was put in place to correct some things, and that was put in place to control. And I think, because we already know that our system was never really created for it to be equal to begin with, period, point blank. It was never created to be equal. And so to think that even in this situation that it's creating some level of equalness would just be false. And so we got to take it for what it is. They are trying to control. And we have the exercise our free will with, obviously without, harming others and those types of things. And I think that there's supposed to be adequate protocols in place, but you're just trying to control the situation, trying to control women. And I think it comes on the backdrop of a woman vice president. It comes on the backdrop of a lot of women being nominated in positions and those types of things. So, I mean, you got to kind of look at the holistic picture when it comes to a woman, period, and how things are transitioning. What are you going to do? I mean, so just a few years ago, you're saying that gay marriage is okay, right?
Not in Kentucky.
People that are technically against that. So I mean, I'm not you know. So what are you just want to control something? Is that next on the palette? But you just, I mean, that just came across. So I just think that we just are in an effort to want to control to Will and Dr. Douglas's statements. So I will say for me, I think it's in an effort to control, and I think a woman should choose. I do think that there should be some protocols in place as it relates to that, though, because I don't think we should just be using it as a form of birth control. You know.
Don't be out here using all willy nilly.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I got clear about
Now-
that.
now-
Will.
to add on what you had just said, Ashley, because like the whole thing that you were speaking on a bit, like the control part and the power part. Now, I don't know the full background of all of you individuals that are on this lovely call with me tonight, but of course, before I got to the place that I am now, I was a criminal, and for a criminal to exist, you have to hide in plain sight. So with this whole thing with the Roe v. Wade, they are screaming pro-life, and they're stating that they do that because they want life. But then how can you also turn around and not let all these immigrants from the border come in? They want life too. They want to exist. So how can you scream pro-life for a baby, but it's already people that are here that are existing, but you don't want to accept them? And they had that right in everybody's plain sight. They showing you what they doing. It's only to control the female body. They don't care about life. If they cared about life, they would let everybody come here. That ain't what the issue is.
I was gonna say, but that changes the issue because then that becomes they got something that they had on the inside and it starts with an R. That's why they got a problem with immigrants.
And the thing about that too, though, is like also
I
don't know if y'all heard, of course, or know about like the birth dearth. Y'all know about the birth
No.
dearth?
I don't.
Okay, so with the birth dearth, there was a paper that was supposed to be a research paper that was written by a European, a white scholar, and this white scholar was saying basically that if we do not stop allowing our white women from having abortions, if we force them to have birth, if we don't control their birth rates, then we will continue to be outnumbered in America by the minorities that are existing.
Oh, that's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah, it's already over.
That's
Yes, yes, but that's what the backing is on why they tried to overturn it. You know what I'm saying? Because like what I do also too, I don't know how I found the time to do so, but I pay attention also to what a lot of the right wing extremists are talking about. So I know how to approach that topic when the time comes. Yeah. Like to be able to defeat your enemy, you have to know all about them. So why not look at what the fuck they do?
No, I agree. Yeah. I agree with
their beliefs.
I agree.
Yes.
Again, how do you find the time?
Hey man. One thing I learned in college was time management.
This is,
you know what I'm saying? And with that though, you feel me? I gotta take time to be able to dibble the dab and everything that I love. So you gotta find the time to do it, man.
What are you saying, Will?
And the hate finds you. You see their thoughts. You know what they think. Like, you know, you see them everywhere. So you just kind of stumble upon them and watch the idiots be idiots. You know, when you said the R word, I was like, what, Republican? I want to go back and I just want to speak on the one thing. When you talking about the conservatives wanting to, you know, live like, I've always been confused with conservatives, right? Like, especially African Americans who are conservatives. What do you want to go back to? Like, what are you trying to conserve? Like it was never nothing for you.
And see that at the root of what that word is conservative. You want to hoard and to hold the wealth that you already have. So they operate in that manner. They don't want anything to change. They could potentially alleviate the flow of the money that they have, regardless of however angry, how nasty, how illegal, or whatever they got their money flow from. They want to conserve that wealth.
I can tell you, busiest man in the world. All right, real quick, I'm gonna transition to Kyrie. There's a game that's gonna be played tomorrow. I just want to say, Will, do not call me. Do not text me.
Oh man, I ain't worried about y'all, man.
Yeah, it's just before.
I might
you
not
know
even
what
watch
I'm
the
saying?
scrimmage. I might not even watch that scrimmage, man.
But people don't know it's a basketball game, rivalry basketball game tomorrow that will be played. Louisville versus Kentucky. Will, do not call or text me.
Yeah, I might not even watch that
That was
scrimmage.
tomorrow. What time does the game come on tomorrow, cuz?
I don't. I know, but
There's
I don't.
no
really-
game tomorrow.
Oh,
There's
he
no
just talking
game
shit. I
tomorrow.
thought he was serious. Man, you had me all excited.
No,
No. He's serious. We play a scrimmage against Louisville tomorrow because
Oh, come
it's
on,
not a
Will.
real game. You know,
Come on,
it's
Will, man.
not a
Really,
real
dog?
one. I mean, no disrespect. I know that's your school and you represent, but I'm not.
Man,
You know,
you
hey,
throwing low shot though. I thought I ain't know which way to go on them. That was a low blow, man. You almost took my kneecaps off, man.
It's very.
Somebody told me Kenny Payne just gave the guys 5 days off.
I hope not. They need
And if
5
that's
extra
true,
days.
they coming
in.
back from a 5-day rest of any time. If they ever had a 5-day rest this season, that was the worst decision y'all ever made.
All right, like I said, don't call me tomorrow. Don't text me tomorrow. Whatever. Don't
But
care.
what? So, Will, what time is this scrimmage happening tomorrow, Will?
Come on, Dr. Douglas. Don't be calling it a scrimmage. It's a game.
Like, why you support? Hey, what
I
side
don't
you
know.
on?
Sometimes you have to pander to people so they can know that they being extra hateful. There was no need for him to call it that.
I think it's like 1-ish, 12-ish. I don't know. Shit, I don't know.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's 12. I think it's 12.
It's 12. I think it's 12 too.
Yeah, I think it's 12.
And then look, I didn't even realize. I'm glad y'all told me, man, because I'm going to the barber shop in the morning. I'm taking little dude with me. But the dude that cuts my hair, I love him to death. That's my dear brother. But he is one of the most staunch Kentucky fans that I know. So I know I was going to hear it at the barber shop tomorrow anyway. Thank you for letting me get the purge. Thank you. I didn't even realize the game was tomorrow.
I don't really like Kentucky fans. The only one I talked to was Will, and I honestly just
I appreciate that.
I don't know why I can't stand Kentucky fans. But anyways, your review, Louisville basketball team ain't no good. That's that. So moving on, switching to basketball, was really anti-Semitic. Kyrie Irving and his comments in his sharing of a link, as he calls it, because he does not call it promoting. He calls it sharing of a link to what's the name of the show? Negroes, the Hebrews.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie. Yeah.
Movie. But yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all this way. What do y'all think Kyrie should have done different?
Oh man.
Maybe you should have asked if we thought he did something wrong.
Okay, we'll go with that. Well, hold on. Let's start. We'll get to you. Ashley, do you think he did something wrong, or do you think he should have did something different?
Well, according to the actual post that I saw that he dropped, he just simply dropped a link to a video. That's all that he did, you know. So I don't understand why a video or somebody watching a movie would cause such an uproar. He didn't physically type in a statement on his belief. He was just like, check this out.
Okay, is this where you want to go?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna go ahead and go. So when you share a link, do you not consider that promoting?
If you share a link and you promote it, yes, that is such.
Okay,
but
so
with that link, but with that link that you have, there's a whole movie behind it. And whatever that movie is, there's no guarantee that any individual that watches that movie will have a certain perception. Okay. Everybody can watch it and have their own idea on what they take out of it. Okay, so how then can you blame him from a particular perception that you might gain from watching it?
Here's my question though. If you share a link and you, in your words, like you said, he didn't put no words, he just shared a link, right? He didn't put no words on it. Wouldn't that suggest that you agree with everything in this movie?
Yes, but whatever is said is always it's only ingested by the individual when they perceive what's in front of them. You can sit down next to somebody and watch a movie together, and the both of y'all will have a different thing that y'all get out of.
See, I
So
don't like
just
that
from him
argument.
sharing the link doesn't suggest anything to me.
But I don't like that theory of me and you sitting down watching a movie and we see something differently. When you share a post, and you don't put no words behind it, especially a movie that with that background, with that conversation and that discussion in it, you should share and you should enlighten people what you think. You shouldn't just be sharing the link. Because
But
now I'm just gonna hold on,
just
real quick. My biggest thing with this is right. I just want to be because I like to be fair. Anybody knows me. I like to talk shit, but I like to be fair as well. In this movie, did it not consider that the Holocaust didn't happen? Right.
I don't know. All I know is that he posted the link. I don't know. I didn't really watch the link. I didn't watch it.
In this movie, it suggests that the Holocaust did not happen. Now, and they have a. We all know. Can we all agree on this? On here that the Holocaust happened.
Yep.
I believe it did. In my opinion, yes.
So my
true.
thing is now witness talking about Kyrie. When he be mad if a white guy shared something that said slavery didn't happen? Will he not be mad?
They talk about this shit all the time though, cuz. That's
No,
what
but my
who do you
point
think
is-
runs our offices and shit? That's how they believe anyway.
But I ain't talking about them. I ain't
They
going big
already
picture.
do it.
I'm not going big picture. I'm just keeping it Kyrie. Simple as Kyrie. You would get
I'm
mad.
just saying though. So like
You would
if
get
the
mad. He
people
would get
that
mad if somebody said something that said slavery didn't happen. So why are you surprised that people's mad that saying the Holocaust didn't happen? We don't even go. We ain't even got to go deeper into what else was in the movie. We just on the surface, right there. What we talking about? Come on,
so
bro.
was there anything else? Was there anything else inside of that movie that could have potentially benefited anybody from any other type of knowledge that existed in it?
I mean, I think it's possible. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
watch.
so maybe when he posted it, he wasn't even thinking about that part of it though. Like I'm saying, like why can't you condemn this man for a movie that he shared?
I will say this. I think that when you're in a position of leadership or you're in a position of limelight or you're in a position, I think wisdom is necessary. You have to exercise wisdom. And I'm not mad at him for posting it. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a decision and he probably really didn't think anything of it until it became what it became. And he still probably felt strongly about it, you know, and or what have you. And you know, I don't know say that he necessarily agreed or disagreed with the movie, but other than dang, like maybe you need to check this out. And look at it, right? But I do think it's important that any type of position that you're in, you know, in any type of public thing, and even on your personal social medias, right? You have to exercise wisdom to understand how things can appear, how they can look, how people may perceive you. And I mean, I know, you know what I'm saying, we like to say we don't care what people think, but to some level, you do. You do.
Everybody does.
I'm gonna say I just feel like he didn't exercise necessarily the best judgment and the best wisdom. I'm gonna say I don't think he necessarily exercised wisdom. I'm sorry. I don't think he exercised necessarily the wisdom necessary in that situation. I think he eventually came around to it, whatever. I think he was, you know, holding to his convictions, and at the end of the day, he got a publicist. Let's be real. So he was being given some type of direction somewhere along the way.
He was listening.
But I just don't think. I think we have to be mindful. I think anybody has to exercise wisdom, and just because it doesn't suggest that he necessarily agrees, but was it wise? Was it wise to put it out there? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
And see, I'm in complete agreement with everything that you're saying, though. But the thing is, it's like, why they put that much attention on that man like that? Because just a few years ago, last year, year before that, they told all the NBA players to shut up and ball. So if you want them just to shut up and ball, why are you so concerned about what he's posting?
Well,
if you're supposed to look at him like an individual, so just to say like if me or you would have shared that, what response would have happened? It wouldn't have been no response behind it.
It's about the subject matter and When you
But
start,
but
let's be real. When
but
you start,
but actually, with your job,
for real. Anytime you start talking about Jewish people, regardless of who you are, it's an issue. For real, for real. If you really go back and look at it, you know what I'm saying? Anytime that conversation comes up, it's a problem. Any type of conversation surrounding that is a problem. And to some level, if you start saying, and I'm just gonna be real, you start saying certain things about slavery, and they have, it's an issue, right? Depending on what the conversation is, if we keep it all the way real. So I just think that it might not have been to that level. I'm just saying, but there has been examples of people prior to with the same subject matter that has caused issues. So I just feel like it just wasn't wise.
In no way is what I was saying was to defend what he did. My concern is the punishment he received after. Like, I don't think that was justified. I don't think that should have happened.
That's a separate argument. Now, I will agree, but that's a separate argument.
I think that you felt like he just got punished over and over again.
Yeah. I don't think what he did was right or was well. I just don't think what he actually got on the back end should have been what happened.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is it's like a regular. If you look at him as just a regular person, a regular Joe Blow, like if I would have posted that link, wouldn't shit have happened? And
sure,
y'all
but that goes back to Ashley's point of being a position in power or a position of influence.
But that's the thing, though. Like, so the thing is, they have these individuals in a position of influence, but they are not in a position of power. If he was in a position of power, he would have been able to dictate his punishment. He would have been able to stop his punishment. He has no.
Okay, so I feel you, but I would argue the point: if he wasn't so powerful, then they probably wouldn't have paid for what he was saying to begin with.
Okay. So let me restate it. He's in a position of power for his base, but not in a position of power in the NBA or in that realm. Let me say it that way. He's not in a position of power inside of the NBA. Inside of the NBA, he's just an influencer. He doesn't have power inside of the NBA. Because if he did, he could have controlled his ramifications that came behind it.
This a majority of everything that we indulge in as far as entertainment and fashion and a lot of things, the Jewish own a lot of it. So you can't go spewing hate about shit. And the shit that he was promoting was filled with hate. I mean, let's keep it all the way real. It wasn't just one thing in there that had hate speech in it. There was other examples. So just go watch the documentary, watch the key points, or go listen to some idiot talk about it on YouTube, and you'll see some of the shit was real reckless, you know. And
yeah, see that. My thing is, I don't doubt that at all. I'm not saying that what he posted was not reckless, none of that shit. I'm just saying that with the punishment that he got, I don't think he should have got that. But you have other individuals that consistently do way worse shit than that on a consistent basis that are in big positions of power, and they get a fucking slap on the wrist.
Yeah, and that's true.
They were ostracizing him in the moment. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing on it. Like, I'm not trying to say that what he posted was not negative. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying the punishment that he received for just sharing a video link. I don't think he should have got all that.
I don't think so. So the Brooklyn Nets made him jump through hoops to get back on basketball court. That I didn't agree with, but I also don't agree with him sharing the link and not putting no message behind it. It shouldn't have been a week later and you finally explaining yourself.
Yeah, and see that's the thing though, because it was just the instance that he did it. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, I'm not saying I'm in agreement with the video he shared or none of that. I'm just talking about the whole punishment aspect on the back end of it. I'm speaking from that angle. Like, I don't think he should have got that shit.
You know
what I'm saying? They should have, if anything, missed the game or paid one fan or some shit and then go the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? That would should have been it.
The whole jump through hoops, donate to this people, miss this amount of games, all this other stuff. That was a lie. But I also feel like another thing, I feel like a lot of that was because of the year prior when he didn't get vaccinated to play basketball. I feel like that was a whole deeper thing that they were trying to prove a point with Kyrie. They wanted to stick to Kyrie.
They wanted to another level because he did some stuff prior to.
Yeah, and they couldn't punish him for that. So I feel like a lot of that it had a little more to do with it. But Kyrie made some anti-Semitic comments. Kanye also made anti-Semitic comments. Honestly, I get tired of. So shout out to the Mixed Vibes podcast, my other podcast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. But I get tired of talking about Kanye. So I'm just going. I told y'all we talking about Kanye. Y'all go ahead. I know these Kirk go first. Kanye makes me sick personally. So y'all go ahead.
I will say, I'm gonna say this. Not so much about that particular subject matter of his comments. I think that I think that there are some things that he says that we should be paying attention to, and I think there are other things that might be just too much. And that's a personal take, right? I think that sometimes the message gets mixed in with all the other antics, and you miss some of the things that he's saying. I think that he is a very smart individual. I think he's very educated. I do think that there's some other things working behind the scenes. And I think I think when you're watching or entertaining what Kanye says, you gotta be careful as an individual. And I think again, you gotta use wisdom. I don't think that everything that he's saying is a lie. I don't think everything he's saying is a fairy tale and just he in la la land. But I also, you gotta decipher through what's being said and what's being done. That's just fake though.
So much to go through. Like it's just so much.
And that's the thing. It's a lot, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I feel like that there's too much attention put towards it. You know, me personally, I do. Like I understand that he's doing stuff, but I don't know why they folks choose to focus in on him in general. You know what I'm saying? So I had said it early on here. It's like the stuff that we see all the time and the stuff that is promoted in front of us, it does nothing but to distract us from the actual goal. You know what I'm saying? And the consistency that they could continue to place him in, like for what? He ain't doing nothing up but calling us to have conversations about it. He does no. I'm saying, what is he doing? I'm saying some of the shit he does is positive. It is. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the shit that he's dealing with personally, like I don't think that shit should be out in the public like that either, though. I don't know.
For some of that he puts out in the public, that's my. Again, I say with Kanye, he does so much. Like what?
So,
but he
so
only does it because people pay attention to it, though. Like, why pay attention to it? If you know it's going to be drama, why go to the drama?
So let's just say we look past everything, like all the recent stuff, right? Let's just look at one thing that's been bothering me. I've always tried to give him a pass. I felt like when his mother passed away, mentally, he's still kind of broken from it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always been something that I've kind of leaned on for him. But when he started hanging with the Nick guy, I believe that's his name. They showed up to the Donald Trump dinner together. This dude is a flat out racist against your people.
I think he's 10 minutes good. It might be coming past right now.
So like, I can't. Like that's just too wild for me. Like you racist, and I know you racist, and you don't like my people, and I'm not going nowhere with you. So that kind of turned my stomach all the way around. I was like halfway at first, but then it was like, yeah, this is it.
I mean, well, is it? But I wonder, so this is just me just saying something to just see what we think, though. But is it that he's trying to be in those spaces, in those rooms to hear what's being said and how things are being said? And is he using their own tactics against them in a sense? Like I do think he's definitely broken from his mom for sure. I definitely do believe that. But, and I think that there's a hurt and a pain there that, only God can heal. But I sometimes wonder if he does things to because I still feel like he's really an individual. Like as much as he might be around those folks, I don't really think he's like them. I mean, he's definitely different still. But I wonder if it's because he's trying to learn, or you know what I mean. It's I don't know. That's just a perspective.
Like maybe there could be possibly like that side of it, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's why he's around him. I feel like he's around them because
He
they're
truly
willing to entertain him. I feel like he's.
okay.
I don't feel like it's going anywhere. Like I don't feel like I can ever find a way to follow Kanye with anything after this shenanigans of this year. Like this is just crazy. Like this is it's been pretty wild.
I'm gonna tell y'all the point in time where I lost complete interest in him. It was when he was first trying to get into the fashion industry. There was some couple of different videos that came out where he was over there like comparing some shit at like all like the big to do fashion shows or whatever, but he was inside of the car with the other big wig fashion industry people that own the companies, and the video showed him like being like a servant or some shit. So ever since I seen it, I don't take nothing that he does seriously at all.
I didn't take Kanye serious. I stopped taking Kanye serious when he put on a White Lives Matter shirt. That did it for me.
But did you see though that them two brothers that do a podcast, I wish I knew the name of their podcast, they actually have their slogan trademark, so nobody else can produce any shirts after that.
Look, that only bothered me because look, White Lives Matter. I get and I understand that, but you, as a black man, you know the argument, you know the reason of which we say Black Lives Matter. We really saying Black Lives Matter too. Black Lives Matters as well. You putting on that shirt, it's just like you putting on a MAGA hat.
Pandering.
But okay, so
that's about argument.
But let me say this, and more research has to be done. But it has been said that although we as African Americans understand what it means to say that Black Lives Matters, but they often talk about the head of that organization is a white male. Now, maybe true, maybe not true, but I just question whether that would change your opinion, because if there was
that organization's crooked, so just
well, I mean, crooked or not, if the head of that organization was Caucasian and they derived this slogan for us, how would that change your perspective, or would it? Because you can say the organization is crooked, but I'm saying if you knew that it was a Caucasian or somebody that didn't look like you and I, that created this slogan to begin with, how would that change your perspective? Because that is what's put out there, that the head of that organization is not one that looks like you and I. I mean, whether true or indifferent, I'm just saying it's been put out there. So I get it. Naturally, just looking at Kanye, yeah, Q, that would turn me off too. But then I also like, but wait, you know what I mean? Yeah, you see a lot of us faces walking around with the shirts and protesting and doing all these different things. But if the head honcho of the whole thing don't look like you and I mean, does that change your perspective any? I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying it's 100% false. I'm just saying that there is that perspective of, and it's been conversation where it's like, but most people don't even realize that the head of this organization ain't a black person. Like,
but if they're doing any type of good for black people, then I don't care if an alien ran the organization. Because you still showing me that Black Lives Matter to you as an individual. So unfortunately, like you said, that organization seems to be as crooked as the pipes under your seat, twisted. There's so much going on with them. I don't think you can say that anybody should be behind them necessarily, but we should be behind their name, what they say, Black Lives Matter. That's what we should be behind. The cause, exactly. We should be behind that, but, we shouldn't need an organization necessarily. Like, we should just need people to wake up and just realize that they matter, not only when it comes to the police, but when it comes to dealing with each other. You should care about the next person, and every person matters. But, until people understand that our lives matter, then we're going to scream it a little louder. So I don't want to hear White Lives Matter, Disability Lives Matter. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You feel me? I don't want to hear none of that shit.
I got you. No, I mean, at the end of the day, we're saying that on the mere purpose that it seems though that our go un we don't get justice a lot of times in our situation. They go unnoticed. They go unpublicized. Those types of things. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. With the fact that all lives do matter. The only reason that Black Lives Matter even came about in the sense was because we don't receive the same justice in a lot of cases as others. Period. I mean,
Yeah. But to answer the question, no, it wouldn't change because of the simple fact, like basically like Will said, the argument is still the Black Lives Matter. Kanye's just doing too much. That's what Kanye does. That's what Kanye does. Is he does too much. Why is he talking about Kim Kardashian's bowel movements on Twitter? Like they ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's why I say it's so much to go through with him. You can't find his good messages because you got to go through the bad messages. Why is he sharing that Chris Paul and Kim K had this? Why, like, you do too much. Kanye drives me up a wall. Let's go
He's
ahead.
entertainer. He's entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say, man. Because
But he
like
looked like a loose
like,
cannon. So it looks.
but like the thing is, regardless of whatever you do, whether it's positive or it's negative, if you are able to do that in the public's eye to a big spectacle, it still brings you more attention.
that's true.
Why he does that shit.
They like to be entertained. So I mean, that's absolutely true. They like to be entertained. That's honestly why Trump is where he's at, because people like to be entertained. It truly is entertainment.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's 100% true. That's exactly why they are entertained by that shit.
He's an entertainer.
I know all of y'all watched that motherfucking movie back in the day when dudes was hollering, "Are you not entertained?"
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But, just like Trump, Kanye got a bunch of people that follow him that can't think for themselves. Speaking of, this is it's a subject we was talking about pre-pod. Young Thug and his record label / whatever you want to call it. The government is trying to call it again. YSL, they all are, some of them's in jail, some of them take pleas with the RICO charges. Mr. Douglas, I know you had some things you want to say.
Yeah, as far as that, you know what I'm saying? Like I want people to understand. I'm not speaking just from a point of what I'm thinking. My first week when I started going back to school, I got indicted on the state RICO charge. Same way they got indicted on the state RICO charge. I mean, I was facing fucking 20 years in the state pen. Had 8 co-defendants. 2 years later, charges dropped. Sometimes you just gotta stay quiet and stay solid, man. There's no real evidence unless the individuals involved speak.
So my question to you will be is, because a lot of people have, made statements, took their plea deals, and it's 2 guys. I wish I had their names, but I lost them. 2 guys that didn't take the plea deals. They just go to trial. Of course, with Young Thug. What you're saying is, if all these other people had kept their mouth closed, let's just go, because the big target is Young Thug. Young Thug will be free in an amount of time. You believe?
Yeah, and the thing is too, though, I feel as if the case would have went a lot different if the individuals they ended up turning over testimony. If they was in free world and not locked up, this shit wouldn't have happened. But because they was locked up, they're probably not used to having to deal with that, knowing what that's even like. They wanted to get out, so the first instance they had the way to get out, they took it. But had they had been out and fighting their case from the streets instead of fighting their case from inside, it would have went a lot different. You know what I'm saying? But when a person's supposed to make damage, they ain't supposed to just crumble you. Everybody can't take the heat.
All right, my next question is real quick. How does all these videos keep coming out of people in the courthouse? What is that? Just the new trend now, or because I thought the videos was that this was a private matter. So anybody will explain that with me?
I don't understand it either. I know in the courthouse alone, I'm talking about in the ages of flip phones and shit. You couldn't pull them motherfucker out at all. The bailiff's gonna take you straight up under the clock, and you're gonna be locked up. And you're gonna be spending at least 8 hours in jail. So I don't know how to have the courtroom. I don't know.
Different states got different rules, and different levels of courts have different rules too. Some courts are recorded, but never released. Just for record's sakes. So, I know, like in Vegas and shit, like basically it's like a fucking soap opera in the courtroom over there. So, I guess Georgia they let you have the cameras. So it's all about your state and your level, I guess. But
yeah, I have been seeing a lot of videos from Jefferson County that are like the state issued or the state monitored.
Yeah, they're not from like,
devices and stuff.
Yeah, it's not from Joe Blow. It's just a lot of this shit is from the state. But what I thought was crazy.
Hello.
I read the article on there's one guy who testified. Well, it's kind of crazy because he took the plea deal the other day, and they said that he won't have to testify. So that was good. Well, he would have to testify, but he could plead the fifth. He wouldn't have to say anything. So, okay, that's good. But he had already confessed to killing somebody for the gang. And then he confessed, on top of that, to going to Young Thug's house after they killed the dude. And Thug gave him all money and told him lay low. So you already made this confession. It's written. It would be read at court. We don't need you to testify per se.
So I would say, so you plead the fifth. We don't really need you to come up here and say nothing because you already got all this documented of what had happened.
Right. Exactly. So it's like, so they gave this guy 15 years probation. He was like 40, 41. And I was like, man, it's crazy just to see how these people get caught up in this at all these different ages. There's 18, 19-year-olds all the way up into people who should know better.
Yeah. But what's crazy though is like they gave you 15 years probation. Though. Like that doesn't make any sense. How you gonna give this person 15 years probation, and if they accepted the plea, they got a felony on their back. They can't really get a kind of job that they want. They can't really get apartments. They can't get a house. There's so much other shit they can't get. So inside of that 15 years, he's definitely gonna revoke that parole or probation and have to get locked back up. Ain't no way you can maintain like that under that type of situation for 15 years. Ain't no way.
My question is, this in this situation, a lot of them dudes, y'all rolled over on Thug, but Thug was the reason. Thug was y'all income. Thug's the reason y'all was living, or not, making a living. So what y'all gonna do now? Is the question. Now
Be out of jail. Be out of jail. What you mean?
That's all they was looking for, was it?
But
at the end of the day, it's self-preservation.
You
don't want.
The thing about that is too, though, like if you operate with a unit, you know what I'm saying, and you operate with a unit like fully, you're supposed to understand it. Yeah. Everybody got certain roles that they doing. You the one to do this, you the one to do that, you the one that does that, you know what I'm saying? So Thugger was just the one that was pushing it forward because he was out in the public, you know what I'm saying? They was able to get their hands on more money. So they still gonna be able to maneuver how they want to when they out. They just won't have that forward momentum that they had with him.
And like they said, it's every man for himself. When they, because pretty much this is what it came down to. We don't really want you, but we want X, Y, and they laying it out for them like, we want they always want the top dog. They don't ever want the lower people. They gonna get them too, but it's gonna be, everybody's trying to make a name and make a case for themselves, right? Detectives, everybody. So they going for the head honcho, and they want you to flip. I mean, this is what it is.
I was gonna say they doing everything to get to the big fish. We gonna move all y'all little goldfish, you little booties goldfish out the way. We going for the big fish. We going for the head honcho. All right. Two more things before we get up out of here real quick. Will Smith in the slam. Just that's just
What's
I
the
feel
question?
like ain't no question, just react. Because I feel like that is the besides the war in Ukraine for me personally. That's the thing I'm gonna remember about 2022 is that Will Smith really got up there and smacked Chris Rock on live television. That's just
I,
it for me. That's
I,
just it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think. Okay, I think because they both were they comedians. You know what I mean? Even Will's still a comedian technically in his own way. I think at first people just didn't think it was for real until we realized it was real, right? It seemed like a gimmick until we realized, nah, he won't play it. Like, you know what I mean? I think we just still caught off guard. I mean, at the end of the day,
It's still hard for me to believe that even happened. Like I'm like, this is just so
he's
crazy.
doing shot.
It's like what the fuck? It's
I,
like why? It would have been more player of Will if he would have waited until one of the after parties, and if you could have seen some shit on TMZ that he ran up on Chris Rock and slapped the shit out of him talking crazy to his woman. That would have been more player to me. Like to create that whole scene.
okay. So for me, okay. I hate that it was the platform that it was on. I really do. I hate that it even happened. I really do.
We talk about the Oscars. Just saying.
Right. I do. I hate that it had to go down like that. But at the same time, bro was defending his wife. I mean, because why else did you do it? What
All
else
right.
did
I mean,
Loose wife, you can lose that term loosely.
what else did he do it then?
What's there to defend? Because she just caught a side nigga to defend her then.
I mean, all I'm saying, at the end of the day, regardless of all of that, they still married. They was at the event together. So for me, why else did he slap him then? Why else did he get up there and slap that man if he wasn't defending his wife? Why did he slap him? Because he could have slapped him a long time ago with other stuff that he done said. Let's just be real.
in my Chris Rock
And
vote,
that's probably why it happened, because it was pent up. This wasn't the one event. This is just the last event.
but I'm saying, but it's not the last event because Chris Rock gonna keep talking about it.
You feel like he slapped him because he just got tired of the jokes. Come on, y'all.
It was too many. All right, bro. At this
Why
point,
jokes about him, period? Because I'm having a hard time flowing with that notion. I just am.
I just feel like at the end of the day, like we can't just act like that. Thinking this relationship that's normal, bro. Like I'm not slapping nobody for you, bro. Nope, I'm good. This ain't normal. This ain't what it is. Nah, I'm good on slapping niggas. Nah, I'm straight. He said what he said. Kiki, we laughed. Motherfucker, you straight.
And see, Will, I'm glad that you brought that up though, because just the year before that was that whole thing with the entanglement. You ain't slap August. Why you give him a free pass?
That's different. That's different. That's different.
That's different.
He knew about August. It was what it was.
Yeah,
That ain't different. That nigga was your son's friend, man. That ain't different. She fucking on your son's friend, nigga. That's dirty. Man, you guys, you crazy. You crazy. That's different. Nigga, I would whoop that little nigga's ass. You got me messed up. Nigga, you my son, my fucking friend too. On top of all that, nigga, get out of here with that shit, nigga.
But my argument.
What I'm saying is it wasn't in the heat of the moment. That's some stuff that they had already dealt with, but beyond the cameras before it even came to us. This right here is in live, in action right now. Totally different. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the situation. I'm just saying what we found out about the entanglement had already happened. It was old news amongst them and their relationship. This right here was live and in action. You know, throwing jokes and it was disrespectful. Whatever you want to say. I don't know.
It was old news. It was old news of their relationship. But when it resurfaced and they started doing the interviews, that it became present again. So they was dealing with that again. So even if your old feelings is coming back on that situation.
But I don't think it was no old feelings. Because they already dealt with it. And honestly, I'm just being my opinion. I think Will knew about August. Will just accepted it because I still firmly believe Will does what he wants to do. She does what she wants to do, and they just live in the same household. And they have this image of marriage for them, which works for them, and different for everybody else. And he knew, so of course he's sitting there like I feel like he only felt the way because, like you said, it got brought out to the public. That's what he felt the way about. But actually, them doing their thing, I don't think he really cared because he already knew. This is my opinion. That's why I think it's different because he already knew about that. But this, which I don't think he should have did, because we talk about the Oscars. They already say black people can't act. You can't take black people places. He's slapping people on the Oscars on your night when you get an award. Like it's a GI Jane joke in my Chris Rock voice. It's a GI Jane joke. He say nothing crazy. It wasn't even that funny to begin with.
I wish it would have never happened. I will say that I do. I wish it would have never happened because it was just bad. It was a bad look. It was, but it is what it is.
What we talking about her? Like this is what I'm saying. What we talking about her? Like you shouldn't be getting up on the Oscars slapping people.
Honestly, that's one of those moments I want to forget. To be truthful.
Now, this is gonna be the moment for 2022. This is gonna be the picture in my head. This is the shot of Will slapping Chris Rock. That is the thing for me. All right, but real quick before we get out of here, I will ask each one of y'all something you learned in 2022. Start with you, Ashley.
People will shock you. That's it. People will shock you, and you gotta be ready for the shock. Like some people will do the unexpected. People will do the unexpected. That's it. That's what if I didn't learn anything, I definitely learned that in 2022 that people will do the unexpected. That sometimes when you think they, gonna do the right thing, they won't, and sometimes when you think they might be doing the wrong thing, they actually doing the right thing. And people will do the unexpected. Period. That's what I learned in 2022.
All right. Dr. Douglas, what did you learn in 2022?
For me, it was more so understanding the wealth of self-fulfillment that I get out of the conversations and the connections that I have with individuals. And it's about investing more time in that because that brings me peace and that brings the individuals around me peace also. So I've learned to dive deeper into that and also to trust myself and my own personal instincts. To add on also to what you just said, Ashley, I know like when I go into a situation, I go into the situation without any expectations. So I won't ever let myself down. Because a lot of times people approach things expecting something to happen, but I just go into the situation and just want to be my own true original self in that moment. And that way, whatever happens, happens, and I'm cool with it. I don't expect nothing out of nothing. I just be and exist. That's it. But I've learned how to do that this year, though, and it's been a fucking life changer. It definitely is.
All right. Thank you. Will, what's something you learned in 2022?
Oh man, what have I learned in 2022? Well, I don't know, man. I've learned that people have some blind commitment to the things that don't really matter, and what I mean by that is we pay attention to a lot of the things that seem to not help with our progression in life. So, for instance, social media. We spend so much time and energy on social media, but a lot of us get absolutely nothing out of it. So I just learned to kind of stop sometime and just think about my actions in the day and what I'm going to do and how's it going to help me in progress in life. Keep moving, keep going, never stop. When you stop, you die. So I'm good on that. That's 2022 for me.
Yes, what you just said too, though, Will. Yes, what you got to do is always be intentional about however it is that you move. There's got to be intention and purpose behind it, because that brings you joy in the end. Sad brother, I'm glad that you sure that you called me to think about something else, and thank you, bro.
No problem.
Oh, let me say this about expectation. I think that I'm learning to put my expectation. Now, this is a little spiritual, y'all, real quick, but I think I'm learning to put my expectation on God and not necessarily on people. And I think that we come into His presence with an expectation of what He can give us in that moment or what we can receive from Him. And I think that getting that order right, it was going to make all the difference. Let me just say that to what you said, Dr. Douglas, earlier. It is setting my expectation on the right thing versus the wrong thing, on God Himself versus just people. You know what I mean? And I think that makes the difference too. All right, Q. What did it? What you learned, yo? What you learned in 2022?
I feel like I host a podcast. I ain't really here to share. I'm just here, you know what I'm saying?
What?
I'm
Where
just
we make these rules up?
I'm just playing. Now, so it's two things I learned in 2022. The first thing I learned was relationship and cherish the relationships you got and cherish the people that's around you. So I had a friend that lost her brother, and it made me appreciate the relationship with my sister more. And then it also made me appreciate the relationship that I got with my family and my friends more. So you got to cherish those. You got to cherish those moments and be thankful for them. The other thing I will say that I learned is that don't put your time and energy to dead situations. Times it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and then you have to accept it. Even when you want something different, if you want a different outcome, you got to accept that this is the outcome, and you gotta let it be what it's gonna be. And also, it is what it is. Just that's my attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Until it ain't.
Now, since you said that, Quentin, have you heard Louis Keys before? He had a whole song. He's from Louisville. Louis Keys, it is what it is. That's his whole song, bro.
No, I
Have
ain't
you
never
heard that?
because that's
Man,
my
hey,
attitude.
man. Yes, the dude's name is Louis Keys, but the Keys is with a Z. Louis Keys, and he got a song called "It Is What It Is," bro. That shit dropped either like late the 90s or like early 2000s or mid like 2005 or some shit like that. Somewhere in that range though. Dude's nice though. He's from here though.
I'm gonna have to
So
listen to it.
I've been on it. Like it really is. It is what it is. If you cannot control the situation, don't even worry about it.
Dropped in 2000.
That's true.
2003. My nephew just told me 2003.
2003.
2003.
All right, but hey, thank y'all for doing this. Thank y'all for coming to do the year in review. Ashley, you have to come do the podcast more than just when the year in reviews. You gotta make more appearances and whatnot.
He act like we control that. Like he's not the one who invites us.
Right, like he ain't the head honcho of the podcast.
Didn't you just say you the host?
I ain't gonna say nothing. I was like,
Yeah, don't try to call her out like she don't be
Hey,
ready.
I just
She be
thought
ready. You just be playing.
I thought I said one more shot before it was over. My bad. I just thought I let this slide.
appreciate you, bro. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
no problem.
My bad. My fault. All right. But anyway,
That
thank you, Ashley.
that quit. We gonna come whenever you call us.
Right.
We gonna come. You gotta let us know. We there.
I'm gonna get there. Like, thank you, Ashley.
There.
Thank you. Opportunity though, no, it's fun always to join the podcast.
Will, like I said, don't call, text me tomorrow. But I appreciate you for joining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I ain't worried about you and the mob, man.
Yeah, all right. But you say that, but then I'm gonna get a message. You know what I mean?
I'll wait until the new year.
All right, bro. Hey, tell Sheeta I'm still doing my podcast, so she need to chill out so I can hear her in the background.
We have some guests at the house, so that's why we got some guests.
Dr. Douglas, thank you for all, you know what I'm saying?
Man, it's always a blessing to come on here and to share some of the thoughts that I have and to be able to hear and receive the thoughts that other individuals have on those same topics. It's a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? I took a shot at Ashley. My bad. Look, my fault. I call you more. Will, look, I call Will Dr. Douglas outside.
You heard it here first, y'all. He said he gonna do better, y'all. So we go see.
I'll do better.
Yeah,
Like I said. Look, I feel like I don't call Will and Dr. Douglas because I feel like they probably get tired of me. Like, where this nigga again? But get somebody else to do it.
Shit, man. I ain't never worried, man. I love relationships. I gotta keep my relationship strong.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
sir. That's it.
Another episode of the books. We'll catch y'all next year. I'm gonna do better with my podcast in general next year. We're gonna work on that. But yeah, appreciate y'all for listening to Hold Up.
Consistency is the word.
Appreciate y'all listening to Hold Up and Another Thing presented by Mixed Vibes Media. And we out.
Peace.